It's Kareen here, and what you're about to witness is one entrepreneur's journey on how they navigate a challenge or need support in an area of their business with me. Results may vary if you try this on your own. The purpose of sharing this with you is to help you know that help is always available and you don't have to do it alone.
I think one of my big challenges right now is back to just hiring. I have somebody in what I call a VA role, and I will be the first to say I probably hired the wrong person for the role. I like to try to think like you dive into the person's strengths, but I also think it's like they're just not coming close to like expectations. So the challenge is I have somebody in a role. They do a few things really well, probably not the right person in that role.
Yep.
But then it's also moving into quarter four on product base. So quarter four is like our busiest time. So what do you do in this situation? Do I just, and I'm going to just talk freely because
Yes, that's exactly right.
but it's like, do I just get rid of her and then try to hire somebody else? Or do we just roll through quarter four, continue? I think it's the mentorship that's the most challenging too, because it's constantly like mistakes get made and then I'm constantly like
you're reworking.
Yeah. So any thoughts around that?
Yeah. So when I have challenges on who I selected is no longer fit for what I need, I do an assessment of like, okay, like you said, like there's certain things they do really well. Is that in itself its own job that I can have them maintain while I'm backfilling with the expertise I need? Right. So could you, like with season coming up, for the things that there's consistent error around, if you found the right person for, could you just start recruiting for that to be handled? The things that are falling through the cracks by another person that does have what you need. And then what I would be better at, or where I would need to improve as a hiring person, is how do I qualify them and make sure they actually have what they say they're going to do for me? And I would do a case study or have them come work for a couple hours with you and see how they actually perform on that, like do a test run, a test trial on those tasks that you need fulfilled. Because sometimes proven expertise, it says it on paper, but like in action, it's completely different because they were trained by someone else, that it was acceptable, that quality of work by someone else, but might not be acceptable by you. It's two-part of what's going on for you. It's you want to hire slow and fire fast. But if you're in this crunch of seasons coming, more work is coming my way, I can no longer handle the rework that happens from what this employee is doing or this team member is doing, right? So I have to cut bait because I'm doing it anyway. Or like, that's one option. You can't completely let go of this person if it's really just creating more of a headache than what you need. But you always have to think of the backfill role because we don't want to get you stuck in the doing of it all when really others can come in and step in. Right. So I get really clear on the skill. I'm just going to summarize. What is the actual work that you're like, someone else who's really good at this needs to pick this up. Put that job description together and start recruiting for that person to come support you, while you're assessing if the person you have still has value to your business in a different capacity, because they're already part of your business. Is there a different capacity that they are really good at, that if they did that all the time and you can afford to have two people on your team, then rejig the role and responsibility for that person to stay on your team. If they're absolutely not a fit for anything, because this is not their forte, they said yes to the job, you said yes to them because you needed it, it's time to go, then I would let them go. Is that helpful?
Yeah, super helpful.
Yeah.
Taking a breath and taking a step back and really, because I think it's easy to say out loud, like, I know she's not quite working out, but I don't think I've ever taken that breath to be like, okay, like, where isn't she working out? And I think the start hiring for that second person. Yeah.
And also to let her know if you're going to keep her on the team. So what the quickest way I love to assess performance of somebody working for me is I take the original job description, I stick the duties that I'm hiring them for into a spreadsheet, and I create a scorecard. And because for me, I need data, because I can be emotional about, oh, but they're such a sweet person. And like, I want them on the team, and oh, it's all me. Or I'll be like, I'm not leading them well, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, how is it against the skill set that you need? And so you do a scorecard, 1 to 5, 5 out of 5, they're knocking out of the park. And then you can see where the gap is immediately, because now you've scored, oh, why do I have all these ones? This person was never qualified, but they're really nice, but it makes it easier. And it gives you data to have a performance review with them if you wanted to say, hey, I realize that this time together, I've given you this amount of opportunity to grow within your role, but this is where I'm seeing still the performance to be. So how do we either we put you on a plan to raise it up, or it's just, it's just no longer a fit. I think you're better suited for something else. So like, what are you into? Or what I've seen you do really well is this, but that's not what this job calls for. So I'm going to have to replace you. That kind of management of your mind as to like why it's not a fit and then what you need to do about it sometimes helps too, having that tool.
Love that. Thank you.
Okay. So next time we check in, we're gonna see how your team's doing.
Yeah.
Just want to remind you that breakthroughs and strategies are here for you. You don't have to be isolated on your business building journey. If you'd like to have a chance to connect with me and let me be all up in your business, go to heykareen.com/connect and a team member will share how you can obtain the best support at this time. You always can have me in your pocket by leveraging my AI. Go to heykareen.app, download it, and start chatting away. And of course, I am always here, willing and ready to be the support you need. All you have to do is ask.